It was high pitched and all kinds of whiny all over the place.
Well, exactly. That was very much the Jordan B. Peterson of Cologne's Vespers.
Yes, and we've had a range of Vespers on this show.
Well, this is that, and that is what an opening line that is.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the happy hour. I'm Kristi, and I'm here with my co-host, Kevin. Kevin. Say hello, Kevin.
Well, it did hurt when I fell. Absolutely. Yeah. Hello there, everybody. How are you, Kristi?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I will just get this out of the way. I've finished in the last hour, about an hour, recording with Ina from Polite Conversations. She and I talked with a guy named Jason, who is a Jordan B. Peterson fan, who came on to talk about rape culture. And I'm just going to say something really, I think, amazing happens in the podcast. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I'm going to send you over there to listen to it. But
an alien invasion? Is that what?
Well, in the middle of it, again, you are prophetic as ever, always guessing correctly, Kevin.
Well, it sounds like prophetic, yes, absolutely.
Happily, they were susceptible to the same problem as in the M. Night Shyamalan movie where we just threw some water on them and solved it. So, but how are you tonight, Kevin?
I'm very well. I'm sat next to an adorable little cat and talking to a professor, nonetheless.
Well, doctor. I have to be a doctor before I could be a professor doctor.
In my eyes, you'll always be a professor. I don't know what that means, but it sounds vaguely complimentary, so I'm going with it.
Yeah, thanks. Yes, a nice
exactly.
professor.
If nothing else, you'll always be the general.
That is true. And we're going to be talking about the man who gave me that made that reference or gave me that moniker, we want to say. Carl Benjamin.
Well, he's the one who outed you as the general. You were always the actual general of the secret SJW army, of course.
Right.
Soros gave you the title, but Carl merely outed you.
Yeah, and that palatial estate in the south of France as well. That also comes with being a Soros tool. So.
Oh, you got one in France? Oh, I got Argentina. Oh, fair enough.
Oh, okay. Well, my flight's shorter, so I'm higher up in rank. That's why.
Exactly, and I've got some. They're strangely brown. The people. I mean, I don't want to go into it, but
yes, colonialism, making reference to the British history once again.
What's the point if you can't go around beating small, funny-colored people with a big stick? What's the point?
What is the point of colonialism, right?
I think that's basically that sentence sums up British foreign policy for the last 1,000 years.
Yeah. I'm and not alone, but you're not wrong. And tonight, speaking of Britain's, well, I guess in this case, getting bashed more than bashing. Before we get to the fall of Carl Benjamin, you wanted to do your pub quiz question, to which I don't know the answer, and you also might want to greet the chat in your usual way.
Well, no. Well, actually, I'll be before I get to my thing. I was going to retire that element of the show. I feel like it's reached its peak, as it were. Right. I think we're going to retire the horrific hostility towards the chat. It's a joke that's sort of gone not stale. It's just I feel like it's reached its end point.
All right,
so we'll leave it there.
Do you want to do a final farewell?
Fuck you to the chat, and especially fuck you, Tom. You're never getting that goat back. It's never happening. It's mine.
And I guess one of the trivia questions can be how many episodes of the Happy Hour were there before they retired their first catchphrase joke?
Well, indeed, yes. And well, it'll probably temporarily, as the chat annoy me, it might make a return. But
not intentionally.
It being like a regular recurring item. And if this cat knocks the fucking lead out of the computer, I'm going to knock him the fuck out. I swear to God.
Empty threats. Empty threats.
Yes, apologies. Yeah, obviously, yeah. I mean, for YouTube algorithm terms, I'm not literally going to abuse my cat physically or otherwise. Anyways, my question. Yes, sorry. Yeah, pub quiz question. What type of person is banned from being honoured on US postage stamps?
If I had any faith in like the goodness of the American people, I'd say anyone who was a Confederate leader.
Oh, well, that's ridiculous, obviously. And it's especially ridiculous considering what the answer is.
Oh, and what is it?
The answer is living people.
Oh, only people who are alive. Okay, you have to be dead to be on a stamp.
You have to be dead. So obviously, Confederate leaders, I think they're all definitely dead at this point.
Yes.
Even the conspiracy theorists who think they all escaped to Argentina and were living with the Nazis or something, even they would accept that they're dead. They're very dead.
I think we should propose a no traitors clause as well. Add to that. You
Well,
have to be not alive and also not a traitor to your country.
Well, I still find it baffling that the United States allows on its territory people who started a rebellion, an insurrection against the state. In what other place is that allowed?
Yeah,
and
I mean,
not just one or two. Look, there are thousands of Confederate monuments. It's madness.
Oh yes. Imagine if there was like a pro-Cromwell movement in the UK, all over, just like, yeah, bring back the Glorious Revolution.
Well, no, to be fair, I mean, Cromwell, that's a slightly different matter in as much as it was he? Well, no, because he was a parliamentarian anyway, wasn't he? Look, he wasn't. I mean, look, I'm not defending Oliver Cromwell. The man was murdered.
Okay, I don't want to compare him to slavery. Just saying in terms of the ridiculousness of attachment to something long gone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and especially because it wasn't. Most of those statues weren't even put up at the time. They were put up like in the 20s in order to try and prop up Jim Crow and the like post Reconstruction. So it's a kind of betrayal on two levels, really. But anyway.
Yeah, but it's really people who can't move on.
Yeah,
2 centuries later.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've now convinced a famous black man to come out against the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution, which is madness.
He also said he can't be sure if Abraham Lincoln was white because people are saying he might have been black, so he can't say. Like,
well, there are a number of issues. Firstly, Kanye, I think, and I mean, look, this is conjecture, of course, but I think it might have come up during the election. Had Abraham Lincoln been black, I think someone might have mentioned it. I mean, there's the Emperor's New Clothes, and then there's Taking the Piss. Someone definitely would have mentioned Abraham, get back in the fucking field, mate. You don't have any rights whatsoever, let alone the right to run for fucking president, you cunt. Like, that's what would have happened, wouldn't it? So, Kanye, shut up.
Stop being, I mean, just because someone said it doesn't mean it's actually plausible. I mean, really, have a gatekeeper at the front of your head and just go, should I look that up? That might be bullshit. Just don't let it go in. Don't let it go in and mix among other things that you've actually checked out, but maybe he just doesn't check things out. Okay, we should really get on to...
Here's a brilliant one. Maybe Abraham Lincoln was a black man in whiteface.
Oh God, now he's going to say that.
Well, see, but at least that's funny. at least that's funny and plausible. Well, it's not plausible. It's not remotely plausible. No. But at least it would be.
At least be comical.
Some form of reality. Like the idea that he was just a black man in plain sight is. Oh, fuck off, Kanye! Jesus Christ! And people, this is the thing: people had a go at me. Not many people, but some did. When I made a joke on Twitter back just after the presidential election, where Kanye met with Trump in Trump Tower, and he signed a copy of Trump signed a copy of Time magazine with Trump on the cover, saying like, "Thank you, Kanye signed Donald Trump." And I said, "Oh look, Massa has signed a copy of Time for Kanye." Right. It's a bit problematic as a joke goes, but hopefully you get the idea. I don't think after what he said this week, that joke is problematic anymore. I think he's literally made himself into an actual like Uncle Tom figure there.
Well, I know you and Dusty had a conversation about that word, which I wish I would have been part of because I have a take on that, but I don't know that now is the time.
Well, now is the time. You've brought it up, goddammit.
Wait, I brought it up? You brought up Kanye.
I brought up Kanye. You brought up the conversation I had with Dusty Smith and you having an opinion on it. You can't say, I have an opinion, but I'm not going to give it you. That's ridiculous.
Okay, well, basically, I can sum it up pretty quickly. I think you can say that somebody's a sellout without using that term because it is so racially loaded. It sometimes obscures the point you want to make. And so I think saying you're selling out is more plain and requires less, arguing with people.
Right, but even with inside...
No, I didn't want to... We're gonna have the debate. You just wanted my opinion, I thought.
Even with inside that point, even if we accept that point completely, this example of Kanye is literally Uncle Tomming, isn't it? Because he's literally calling for the reinstitute or the relegalization of slavery.
Well, he did say later that he said he wanted it amended, and I don't know what he said he wanted it amended to, so that is on the record. He said he spoke incorrectly or wrote incorrectly, which is plausible.
Well, yeah, but I mean that could be said for anything he's ever said. But that, I mean, that's not an excuse as far as I'm concerned. What does he want it amended to? I don't care.
I don't. Yeah, to that I can't speak. Only that I saw it on Twitter that that little amendment not abolish.
Why are we taking U.S. constitutional advice from this fucking
Why
absolute
aren't we talking about Carl?
buffoon?
There are like
This
78 people
idiot.
waiting. Okay.
Idiot who isn't sure what race Abraham Lincoln was. Why are we taking constitutional fucking tidbits off him?
For those of you who want to sue for bait and switch,
questions. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking
sue
about.
Kevin.
So stop asking Donald Trump questions. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
All right, you feel better now?
No,
Got it out of your
the world
system?
is still as shit as it was before I ranted. I've just,
Okay.
well, you know, I've burnt a couple of calories, so you know,
There you go.
good news.
Should we turn that ranting to the thing that we actually advertised we talk about?
Well, what I want to know is Carl Benjamin black or white? I don't know. I mean, it's out there. Who knows?
That to take the Kanye logic, right?
Exactly.
You know, anything that's said is now something you have to consider.
Exactly. Well, I call Carl Benjamin a complete not a fucking spoon. So there you go. It's true. Doesn't mean anything, but it's true.
Is spoon an insult?
No, but it just came into my head. He's a spoon. It doesn't sound complimentary, does it?
No.
Such a.
But yeah, so I guess that was the association. Maybe the spooning. You were thinking about.
He's a vessel for small amounts of food. That's all I'm saying. Jesus.
Right. So you had said before that you don't really do stuff on Sargon on your channel, your main channel anymore because it's just.
I don't do direct video responses, but I've said I'm more than happy to do like stuff on him in general. Like we did the hangout the other day about MythCon, which you got mentioned in, and I'll do this. This is fine, yeah.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say we're gonna do a little Schadenfreude here. Our take really on basically the end of. I don't know. I mean, he's taking a break. He stopped doing This Week in Stupid. Is it sort of like is he quitting anti-feminism as a job and now just doing it recreationally? What do you think?
He's fucking butthurt because he got called out in the mainstream media. He got a tiny, tiny sliver of a taste of everything he's dealt out for the last few years to completely unsuspecting and undeserving people, including, you know, Lush in Cardiff and the like. So he's got a tiny taste of it back and he's run away with his winky between his legs. Like it's embarrassing.
So we're going to look at the end of this, at the video of his phase 2 where he explains this. But I think that it was a sort of a series of maybe for us very fortunate events that happened in Carl's life in the preceding 2 weeks, 10 days before he made his video saying that he's sort of dropping out and tuning out for a while.
Well, he wanted to get involved in politics, and he found out that real life and shitlordery don't mix very well. Surprisingly enough.
And I think Article 13 and him going to the EU is a good place to start on this because I think he was looking for positive validation and adulation from his fans. And he got a lot of blowback, both because it wasn't for people who are criticizing the liberalists as being ineffective because the vote went through. They didn't stop it this time. And people on the right who are just poking fun of him being cringy.
Yeah, well, you're only saying this because you don't even own a suit, Kristi. You don't even own a suit. An ill-fitting suit.
I don't own.
Literally just bought off the fucking peg for $9.99 in the local fucking.
With my black shirt and my purple tie, or whatever it was.
Well, it's almost certainly a brown shirt. There you go. A little historical joke for you there.
Yeah, so he went to the EU and basically gave.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. He and Dankula were invited as part of the UKIP something blah 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 group, and they were going to they spoke in front of the European Parliament, and that in of itself was cringy because Gerard Batten, the leader of UKIP and current sitting British member of the European Parliament, he turned to them during they were having like a discussion, not actually in the main Parliament thing, in like a kind of side room, they're having like a kind of press conference thing. And he turned to them and referred to them as our experts on the topic. Now, they're not. Okay? These are internet shitlords. Their knowledge of censorship law and copyright law is zero, literally zero. And they were found out as such because they just sort of blathered on about, oh, memes shouldn't be illegal. Well, that's not really at contention here. This is about a copyright law, which may or may not be good. I don't know. I'm not an expert on it. But the fact that UKIP were against it means I'm instinctively more favourable toward it,
I know what you mean.
as indeed were the European Parliament, because this is the thing. They act as if UKIP are mainstream. They're not. They're far right, and they're out there, and they're treated as such in the European Parliament. The European Parliament has certain blocks, right? Voting blocks. So you have the kind of vaguely left-wing parties of Europe sit in the socialist bloc. You have the conservative bloc. Those are the sort of two main ones. You also have kind of extreme leftist kind of communist grouping, which is quite small. They have the kind of far right separatist people, in which UKIP are part of, and various other fascist so and so's. And there's a kind of non-affiliated group as well, which is quite small. But the two main ones are the conservative and the socialist / social democratic grouping. And UKIP aren't in that far right grouping. They're nothing, basically. Their power within the European Parliament is virtually zero, as can be seen by the fact that they threw their full weight behind it, blah, blah, and it got passed really fucking easily. They were embarrassed. Every single amendment they put down to the bill was defeated conclusively. They're not a force. They never have been. Now, they've done reasonably well in one or two general elections and one or two European elections, but they've never been an actual force in British politics or European politics. And they're dying. Even with the shitlords, they're still dying.
And am I right in thinking that Carl spoke to basically UKIP people when he was there?
Yeah, he interviewed Gerard Batten.
Yeah, but he didn't talk to anybody outside of people who already agreed on the position on the bill. He didn't do lobbying of any sort.
No, absolutely not. No, that would take effort and skill. And the two things Carl fundamentally lacks. Yeah, he just went there for kind of shitlords, kind of lads' holiday thing where they got drunk every night and talked to UKIP people. No, he didn't actually do anything useful.
He got 1 degree closer to Donald Trump.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, absolutely. Yeah. He then boasted about being one step removed from Donald Trump, which isn't true. Nigel Farage is like a distant friend of Donald Trump, basically like a kind of very small peripheral figure. And Carl isn't even that to Nigel Farage.
Yeah.
They met once. Look, he doesn't get, and he made a big fact of the play of the fact that Nigel Farage knew who I was. He was told by his advisor 5 minutes before he met you, and had instantly forgotten your fucking name within 5 minutes of leaving you. That's how politics works. Unless you're of actual use to him, he's never going to remember your name. He doesn't know who you are. And that, I mean, in a way, that's fine because he meets a million people every day. Like he's in a big fucking parliament. He's meeting different people and lobbyists and legislators and so on. Yeah, he's not going to remember everyone. And you're nothing, Carl. I mean, you are. This is the thing. He's got ideas so far above his station. He's a shit YouTuber.
He works so hard, Kevin.
He does work so hard, yes, as previously discussed.
6 words in a search engine.
Yeah, he couldn't be bothered to type 6 words into the interview because he was too busy typing in, show me where the nearest brothel in Swindon is. Not brothel, sorry, massage parlour. I apologise profusely because they're so different, those things. Yeah, he doesn't do research. He doesn't do anything of worth. And he and Dankula went to Strasbourg and made vaguely racist comments about French people and Arabs for the weekend, and then came home, and nothing changed.
Paid for by UKIP, presumably, or the taxpayer.
Well, I think some of the expenses were covered by UKIP, but I think they probably paid some of that out of their own pocket. I mean, Dankula's not doing too badly with 140 fucking grand or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Carl earns a fortune from doing fuck all on YouTube. So, and they just went there, and basically, if that trip had never happened, nothing would have changed. They had no impact whatsoever. And I hope that teaches them a lesson that if you want to actually affect change in the world, you have to really put some effort in, guys. Sorry, posting shit memes on the fucking War Plan Purple account on Twitter, which is you, Carl. No one's fooled. Yeah, that's not really going to cut it. And I don't know why I addressed Carl there, because we're 19 minutes in. He's never going to make it this far.
No, we're well past a Sargon at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But that didn't go quite, I don't think it quite got the positive attention Carl I'm getting some echo, by the way, that Carl had anticipated.
Are you?
Yes. And it kind of just didn't get better after that. So the next thing was, he had his beef with Medicare.
Yes, shitlord on shitlord.
He did his Hello Jim video.
He did, yeah. He's had fallings out with various of the shitlords, hasn't he, in recent
Mm.
times? Metacore, who's a fucking prick. TLDR, who's a prick. He seems to have distanced himself from people like Mundane Matt, which is unsurprising, I suppose. He's lost a fair amount of support within the community, as it were, because he's a big-headed prick.
Yeah, and he used to kind of, before Trump, basically, he could ride that alt-right wave and try to disassociate himself, but still produce the content that they wanted to consume. And since Trump, things have changed politically on YouTube. Feminism is not, it's basically dried up as a money source. And he got caught up in the whole Warski thing and the internet blood sports and debate, because that's what he says, right? Free speech and debate, all of this. And the whole Medicare thing, I think, just reinforced that there's that divide in the community, that those people aren't really going to leave him alone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think
also he made an ass of himself by throwing out some accusations that were not very credibly backed up.
Yeah, exactly. The idea that Metacore was essentially a sort of pedophile of some sort.
But yeah, online,
which is ironic because a clip came out that
not that he's great.
Sorry?
Not that he's at all good.
No, absolutely. I'm not going to defend any of the people involved.
Yeah,
but I have no evidence that he's actually a child abuser of any kind. But Carl was happy to throw that out there, which is ironic because now he's backing Brett Kavanaugh, who apparently is being willy-nilly accusations of rape are a terrible thing all of a sudden.
More hypocrisy. Yeah, it's all partisanship, not principles.
Yeah, because he's a right-wing hack. Absolutely. And especially brilliant coming out of an old clip of his from a debate with the Justicar, where he said that it depends on the child. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
And as we noted here, I think at some point he gave PR advice to Amos Yee.
He did, yes. He was giving advice about how to best present your pro-child rape argument. Yeah. Oh God, my skin! Oh, he makes my skin crawl. Yeah.
Yeah. So Carl basically got into a diss track competition with Medicare, and he lost.
He did, yeah, absolutely. Because this is the thing. I think you hit upon a good point there about him just wanting to stick on the feminists are evil bandwagon and milk that, because that's basically all he does. And we'll get onto this with his debate quote unquote at MythCon.
Shouty match
with old penis carrier. Basically, Carl's only good at one thing, and I say good in the sense that he's managed to realize the very easy thing that preaching, the feminists are evil to a bunch of 15-year-olds is relatively lucrative.
Mm-hmm.
But doing anything beside that, difficult. And takes effort and concentration and
skills, knowledge,
research, reading past the fucking headline, various things that Carl is seemingly allergic to. So it comes up in hives if he has to read 2 or 3 paragraphs. In fact, actually, there was a funny moment in the video he did post MythCon where he basically apologized to old Dickie Carrier, who, when he said he was going about a book, I don't even know what book he was talking about, but he said it was he got the audio book, so he couldn't even be bothered to read it. He got the audio book. Okay, but fine, whatever. Like, audiobooks are not a bad thing.
Yeah.
And he said, it's really good because it's only 4.5 hours long, so it's not a big book. So I thought, the one reading recommendation you've got, you didn't even read, and you only fucking listened to it because it was 4.5 hours. So it'll take up a good portion of the fucking plane ride.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, God. His research methodology is basically, if I can read it in the time it takes to take a shit, I'll give it a bash.
Is it a bathroom book? Like, does it have short chapters? Because maybe I can.
Does it have pictures? Because I don't like too much wordiness. Has it got pictures of, like, cuddly bears in the middle?
To bring us back to the original timeline, I wanted to ask you if you had heard the leaked audio of Carl talking to a rep from UKIP, and V was on the call as well. Did you hear this audio?
Well, you clearly don't follow my channel very closely, do you, Kristi? You're supposed to be a friend of mine, and you clearly don't listen and watch every video of mine.
Not
Otherwise, you
every
would know.
single video, no. But
Otherwise,
what was
you
the last
would know.
video of mine you watched? Friend. Fan.
The one you did where you gave me a big up about 4 years ago. Wait, we probably wasn't quite that far ago, but anyway. Yeah. So yeah. Otherwise, Kristi, a good friend of mine would know that I had listened to that audio clip because I had about 20 fucking people send it to me within an hour of it being released.
I don't get that shit.
I have like an army of little kind of moles and stuff.
You need to start feeding me your information, little
I
spider.
don't like the Piper of fucking underground fucking rodents.
Apparently.
But anyway, yeah, I have like a fucking army of people. So if you ever want to send me stuff, please do. It's always good. But this one,
send it to me too, guys. Don't discriminate.
No, don't send it to Woms. Woms will do all that. Woms will just put fucking period blood on it or something. It'd be
yeah, that's what we do.
Waste of time. Exactly. They'll just start putting makeup on it, putting shiny shoes on it. It's embarrassing.
Purses. Yes.
Anyway.
Little bows.
No, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, that was bring that down. Give me your perspective. I'll give you mine as a political scientist, because I had an interesting time listening to that audio clip when I found it online.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, I made a video where there's a bit in it where Carl says that his human rights come from our creator, and so I just put out a video with that and basically ripping into him as being like the worst atheist ever. But yeah, there were various points in it which were really good. For a start off, it shows he's way out of his depth because he's talking to a Catholic fundamentalist, bigoted piece of shit who's about 18, I think. Not that being 18 is necessarily wrong, but you shouldn't be boxed into a corner in terms of political experience and knowledge by an 18-year-old.
He was totally owned.
Yeah, exactly. He was made to look a fucking fool by someone who doesn't have the life experience to be able to do that.
Who's only recently been able to start drinking hard liquor.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Well, legal. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Order it at a pub.
In America, he'd be 3 years away from it.
Yeah. Schooling a guy in his 30s.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely fucking ripping him to shreds on really basic shit of like political campaigning and
how numbers work.
Basic shit. And was embarrassed by the guy. But one moment I did like, because in that conversation was also Carl's little milk-fed gimp creature, his little fucking his little golem fucking his little Romanian Schmeagol character.
Ask the chat what the name of that little creature that hangs on Jabba the Hutt's belly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that little fucking the little Quasimodo prick V. Actually, no, Quasimodo was a kind of a vaguely likable character.
Yeah.
Anyway, V, the fucking twat, was in that conversation, and he actually said something rather prophetic. When even Sargon's little fucking little gimp on a leash says that he's a conservative, and Carl still goes, no, I'm centre left. Does he actually believe that? Is Carl actually so deluded that he genuinely believes it? Because I always took it as just a lie. But maybe he's so deluded that even when V says it, he's still like, no, I'm centre left.
I thought he said on his Jared Taylor interview, I thought I saw a clip where he basically said he was right. He couldn't stand the left. But I'd have to go back and look at the...
Well, we all know he can't stand the left. Every video he's ever done has been, the left is shit. So it's really obvious where he is. But yeah, he genuinely doesn't... When he's in a conversation with V, who's conservative, and this fucking fundamentalist Catholic bigot kid, little more than kid, fucking jumped up little wannabe Hitler tot, and you still can't accept that you're a right winger. I don't know what would convince him. He genuinely seems to be deluded rather than just a liar, which sort of means I kind of owe him an apology because I've been sort of taking advantage of his, not advantage, but mocking his kind of mental blind spot.
Or his disingenuousness.
I always just thought it was dishonesty, but it seems to be actual delusion.
Right. Perhaps, yeah. I mean, it's so hard to tell with him because he says so many different things, and I don't want to really try to climb inside his head. But on just my take on the conversation, the leaked audio, Yeah, whoever I don't want to call him a kid because that's really patronizing. The young man was, as you point out, he's very young.
The channel goes by the name Mauritian Struggle.
Okay, yeah, because I think I kept calling him Mauritian, but I couldn't quite catch it with the bad audio. Anyway, one of the great points, just basic numbers on how you win campaigns. So a few gems sort of stick out in my mind. I can't sort of reconstruct where they were in the conversation, but at one point they started talking about his demographics because Sargon was saying, I've got this huge audience, and he said, well, yeah, but if you look at it, quite a lot of it is international.
Yeah.
And then they were also talking about the demographics. He's like, yeah, but you're really limited, in terms of you really only appeal to this very small group of men in a very younger age frame. But that doesn't really represent the voting public that we need, in its entirety to get out. And I think also there was some talk about like how they brought 10,000 new members into UKIP by advertising the fact that they were joining it.
Yeah, but that's not actually true.
No, I think they were claiming that at the time.
Yeah, it was actually. It seems it was less than 1,000.
Yeah, and I think at not the 2017 election, but maybe 2015, I think UKIP got like 4 million votes.
They did. They came third, didn't they, in the popular vote? Oh, albeit a very, very poor third, but third nonetheless.
So 10,000 votes spread across 4 million in four nations, if you count Northern Ireland. But I don't think UKIP. I don't know if they run there. That's no.
So none of the major parties from the mainland run in Northern, because Northern Ireland is a sectarian head count.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, what are you really what elections are you gonna swing with those numbers?
Well, none.
Exactly. But Carl kept trying to sort of explain to him how he was wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is the best.
I mean, the guy's a dick, right? The young lad's a dick, and I don't, like I say, I don't actually want to be patronising to, but he is a dick. But yeah, it's he seems at the very least to have some experience and some knowledge on how to, be involved in actual on the ground politics, right?
Well, he's watched other people do it, or read about it and made fun of them.
Yeah, exactly. Carl
read headlines.
Carl hasn't even brought a spoon to a knife fight. He brought fucking, I don't know, some origami. That's a weird example to come up with. Brain, thanks. Yeah, he was found. He was basically shown for the chancer he is, an absolute fucking amateur who doesn't know what he's doing, which is something I've known for a long time. But it's always nice to have it confirmed.
To me, as a political scientist, and I wanted to say that the kid wasn't brilliant, but he knew his stuff. Like he was clearly someone who was steeped in the tactical, looking at voting constituencies and swings and how many votes you need and how many seats you need and the percentage of demographics.
I believe he's held some sort of national position for UKIP at some point. I think possibly like youth division or something. But yeah,
it sounds like he's sat in on meetings with political consultants. To me, that's the kind of like he's hearing this stuff, and it's if you start to play the game, you understand it, you internalize it. But yeah, to hear Carl, it was like hearing somebody on the street explaining to somebody that the Earth is a sphere, and the other person being Carl saying no, it's flat, and you understanding the physics of why planets are round and everything, and just watching them debate and laughing at the flat earther. I mean, it was really.
But Carl doesn't even have like basic fucking flat earth type stuff. He's not even on that level, because he wasn't actually trying to make any arguments. He was just saying, oh no, I understand how my people, I'll explain to the people. Look, when it was raised about the the white N-word stuff and I wouldn't even write you stuff, the media will bring this out, obviously. And he was like, yeah, but I'll explain past them. I'll just explain it to the people. You won't. What are you talking about? You're going to go around to every single fucking house in the nation.
Yeah, he thinks the world is like his Facebook page or his Twitter account used to be.
Yeah, but
you just throw out any crap and people would believe it.
Yeah, it's not just that, but across the nation, most people obviously don't subscribe to him, because if you take out about at least half of his people are like American, like my channel, right? About half of my subscribers are American, and Canadian and Australian, all that. So the amount of people that are British is tiny, and the amount of people in whatever constituency he would run in would be, I would doubt it would be much above 100. And that's a very, very, like, I'm being generous there, because there are like 700 constituencies or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way he's going to get that many people. And the idea that you can just talk about, like, the local newspapers and indeed the national newspapers, like the Sunday Times, where the article was, they have big readerships, much bigger than your fucking subscriber base, and they're all in Britain.
Well, again, you're jumping ahead in the timeline, so let's get us caught up.
But I just a kind of example that Carl is talking shit. The idea that he can talk past it, like Trump has some element of being able to do that because he has a massive platform and can use his Twitter and his tweets make news. So he has like some way of circumnavigating the usual media cycle. Sargon doesn't have that, or Carl doesn't have that. Whatever.
Nope.
Yeah, he doesn't have that. He's not like well known even in Britain. Because Carl, as we previously discussed in this, Carl is only good at one thing, and that thing does not win elections. It gets 15-year-old people to sign up to his Patreon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bashing feminists doesn't get you elected to office.
No. I mean, even the Conservative Party have elected a woman who, I mean, she's not a feminist by any stretch of the imagination, but has called herself that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real world. That's actual realpolitik, Carl.
Yeah. Outside his echo chamber.
Yeah.
So, speaking of echo chambers, because Carl rushed from that humiliating defeat at the hands of Medicare and his various trolls.
This is like the equivalent. You know that scene from The Simpsons where Sideshow Bob keeps stepping on the rakes and then turns in a different direction and steps on another rake? This is Carl's version of that.
Just put his face on it.
Exactly. He eased down the one rake, turned in the other direction, and whack.
Yes. It just was a terrible, horrible week for him, and good for us. Right. So, yes, he wanted to maybe bounce back a bit by reliving his glory time last year at MythCon, right? That was going to give him a boost, I bet. To go back to MythCon, where last year he just, created all this controversy and fired up his base. And was it, I don't know if it was while he was there or after that the article came out in the Sunday Times. I guess he must have learned the article was coming out because they called him. So he must have learned about it before he talked to Carrier. Do you think?
I think so, but I think it was there. I think it might have been published the same day or something, because it was at the UKIP or just after the UKIP conference, which was like the Friday and the Saturday.
Oh, that's right, because we've skipped a little highlight. He addressed the UKIP party.
Well,
was some subgroup of it or something?
No. Well, he wasn't there in person because he'd flown to Milwaukee to do MythCon, and so he did a pre-recorded video which was played at the conference. And I think it's worth mentioning because it's a salient point. The UKIP conference was held at the International Convention Centre in my own hometown, right here in Birmingham. That building was built with a £50 million grant from the European Union.
I hope they thanked the EU at the start of the opening of their conference.
Because they're hypocritical bastards.
Right. So he did that video, and that attracted the attention of British newspapers.
Indeed, yes, because again, he wanted to play politics and got a taste of his own medicine, because the Sunday Times is a significant paper with reach and clout. And Carl, even though he had one little snippet of it, he had one article on like page 15. He wasn't like front page headline stuff there. He got a bit of blowback and has scurried away into the bushes like the rat he is.
Yes, but before he went down, he had to face another humiliation, public humiliation, which it was entirely self-engineered. He caused it himself by not doing research, walking in thinking he could just blow past everything, that he could just use straw man arguments because he doesn't bother to do research on his opponents or debate.
No, he did loads of research. He read up to 3 headlines. So, I mean, what more do you want from the man? I mean, that comprises about 20 words.
Yes. So the
space of about 4 hours.
The big draw to MythCon, or the big event, was going to be Sargon debating Richard Carrier, and I would suspect that Sargon was looking for a repeat of last year. What he got instead was him being on the side of where he was, putting Thomas Smith last time. He had what appears to be people describe as basically tantrums. He was shouting. Several people told me they got up and walked out halfway through or earlier because it was literally, you couldn't listen to it. It was unwatchable. Was a quote someone said to me. And afterwards, you pointed out, Kevin, he did what he always does when he knows he'd done fucked up.
Yeah, he put out that video apologizing. He said he was ashamed, or felt a bit ashamed of himself. And this is the thing. It's a pattern of behavior. This, when Carl knows he's done really badly, and it has to be it's the kind of Trump thing where it's only when he's forced into a situation where he has to do so, where he's fucked up so bad, like with Trump and the pussy tapes. Eventually, like he'll apologize for that. He'll apologize for something horrific. And when you absolutely fucking handed his ass to him on a plate in a formal debate situation, he came out and he was like, "Oh well, I didn't have a great performance."
Or in my case, he over-prepared. Kevin, you still there?
It was called something like "My Thoughts Post MythCon" or something. And frankly, he looked tired. He looked haggard. He looked fucking done in. And yeah, and basically said that he should have been nicer to Carrier. And I don't know if it's necessarily nicer. Just don't shout "shut up" at the person you're talking to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's not really a conversation. That's just you being a cock.
I can't wait
Imagine
for.
that. Imagine sitting on a stage with Richard Carrier and coming across as the bad person. Fucking
If
hell.
anyone was going to manage it.
It's like Hitler saying, "Come on now, behave yourself."
Yeah.
You're making us all look bad here.
So every couple of days, because I know they're sort of drip-drabbing them out, I got to go back and check MythCon, and I think they're like on 4 of 7, so it'd probably land sometime next week. I'm wondering if they're even going to put it up. I wonder if Carl's going to pressure him to not publish it, but I guess they have to.
Well, Carl said he's going to put it up on his channel, which will be.
Oh my God! Well, that's brave of him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that
In
is
the Sir
brave of him,
Humphrey
yeah,
sense
'cause
of
it
the
was a
word.
fucking car crash. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I think all of this sort of reality hit, I would imagine the newspaper could not have gone down well with extended members of his family because the title was basically.
Before we move on, sorry, I was just
Oh,
going to
yeah.
say on the Carrier debate,
Oh, yeah.
because I don't want to defend Carrier because he's a prick, but he did reasonably well because, and you could tell that Carl was frustrated because in that video, the post MythCon sort of apology type, well, he wasn't meant just as an apology, it was just a sort of ramble in which he apologized. He said that he was really frustrated with the conversation because Carrier wouldn't defend the positions of social justice. Well, no, what Carrier did was that he refused to accept Carl's straw man of what the position of social justice is. And so in doing so, he didn't allow Carl to tear down the straw man because he didn't allow Carl to erect the straw man. He refused to accept that, which was A, intellectually correct, and B, a very smart tactic because then Carl's got nothing.
Yeah, he can't think on his
His
feet.
paper tiger has been soaked. It's
Yeah.
just nothing.
I mean, somebody who's more experienced or quick-witted could listen to their opponent on the fly and process and try to critique and at least come up with 1 or 2 things to come back with, even if they couldn't get all the points. But he just
But
fails.
Carl, if the one takeaway you get from this hangout is Carl's good at one thing, and if you don't allow him to do that one thing, he's got nothing.
Yeah.
He's got nothing.
Hence his fall from his attempt at political engagement, as it were.
Yes. And so that article came out then.
And I just want to say, I want to know if you want to bet whether or not he mentions Locke during the debate. Should we put a little money on it?
Almost certainly.
Are you going to take yes?
Ironically, I think that's a lock. Yes.
All right. Well, you take the yes position. I'll take that he doesn't say it.
Really? Wow.
Well, because you already took the lock position. You locked in your answer.
Well, yes, indeed.
So the headline I was going to say must have had personal effects, not just sort of like the public shaming of it, but members of his family and cousins and people who knew him growing up. I would imagine that was probably a pretty big slap in the face of reality.
Well, it should be, but I mean, the thing is, you look at the article, and it's basically just a list of the things he said, right? It's not slander or anything like that. It's literally just this guy sent this tweet saying I wouldn't rape you. He described people as white N-words. He said you're not even acting like white people, as if black people are inherently like disrespectful or whatever.
Such gross things to say, but
yeah, I mean, just hideous, racist shit, sexist stuff, borderline illegal stuff. Again, borderline. Not saying he's done anything illegal. Just like Carrier, it's alleged. And all of that. And he wants to sue them. But again,
we did mention that.
But being Carl, in such quintessential Carl style, he still had to be a lazy fuck about it because he put out on his Facebook asking whether anyone knew of a lawyer he could use. You can't even be bothered to look up your own law, you lazy prick. What the? You're a grown adult. You can't just look up you've got access to the internet. Call a few fucking law firms up and get quotes and stuff. You fucking lazy bastard.
And when you know that's quote's going to get back to the media, so it was published. There were two articles. One came out in the Times, the Sunday Times, and the
Yeah.
other one came out in, I think it was called the London Examiner. And one
Yeah.
was titled, the Times one was in quotes, racist, unquote, troll sends rape tweets or something like that,
Yeah.
addresses UKIP party conference.
Which
And
I believe is your banner on Twitter now.
yeah, it is actually.
Which is fun.
And the other one, the London Examiner, was like a look inside the dark views of the people joining UKIP or something along those
The
lines.
rising stars of UKIP.
Yes, and there was a picture of like the shitlords with Nigel Farage at
Yeah.
the EU thing.
Indeed, yeah. Yeah. Sort of fascinating in a way because, like I say, this is a tiny taste, a scintilla of the shit he's been throwing at people like Sarkeesian and Quinn and
Oh,
Macintosh and so on.
a billionth.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, just
Billionth. A weekend's worth.
yeah, a tasting session as opposed to a binge. Yeah, he's run away, scuttled away, which is probably a good time to introduce this video now, isn't it?
Yes, it's called Phase 2.
Yes, it's called Phase 2, which is oh god, Carl. You would imagine from the way he's talking, he'd been in a war zone, an actual war zone. He talks as if like, oh, the coal face of the fucking culture war. Oh god, it's terrible. And yet he has the temerity to accuse the people of being precious snowflakes.
Oh, it's definitely a case of him portraying himself as a victim.
Oh god, yeah.
He is the
Absolutely.
victim here. We have to have sympathy for Carl in this video. That is what the purpose of this is to declare his victimhood and why we should have sympathy and understand his plight and, you know, sympathize with him, not critique him or judge him and harshly in any way.
Yeah.
All right. So I did a sound test on this before, but I'll have Kevin do a live one. So hello, everybody. There's my screen. Okay. I have to also turn my mic because my speakers are somewhere else. So hopefully that won't be too loud.
When you say they're somewhere else, do you mean like what?
They're the
Africa?
opposite. They're like at 12 o'clock and I'm at 6 o'clock.
Oh, what? They're in a completely different time zone.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm using my magical portal.
My phone. Hello, everyone. Hi. My camera's turned on for some fucking reason. Fuck off.
I'll put it on you. We'll lock it on me. Even though it's lovely to see you, it's also lovely to see that picture. Okay, so here we go. We won't watch.
It's not lovely to see that picture. Look at him. Fucking arrogant prick.
No, I was thinking about the one with you and Rory Cats.
Oh, you smooshy Rory Kids.
That was adorable.
He's got a little smushy face, so I've referred to him as Smushy Cats. That's what happened. nothing weird about that at all. Shut up, brain.
I'm gonna download that and make that my ringtone because right now what I've got is Brett Kavanaugh going, "I like beer."
Oh, you haven't.
No, but I wish I did.
Oh, that's delicious. Oh, we've got to play. Oh shit, this is. Oh,
you want that to be the intro?
We've got to look for that. The Samuel L. Jackson thing.
Oh yes.
Doug put up.
Yeah. The Pulp Fiction
search for that. See if we can get that up.
Right now.
Yeah, we'll play it at the end. Yeah, after.
Well, I'll tell you what. Well, you've got audio. Do you want to do it on your end while I do this Carl stuff on my end?
Do you want to do Carl on your end?
No, I don't. I don't even know. We're going to cancel.
Well, all I can say is, if you open up in Swindon, you can charge. It's a lucrative side revenue streams are important in these economically tight times, I know.
What I'm saying is it will be a challenge on the fly to look up a Twitter video when I've got this lined up. So since you've already watched this,
God, so you've only had him on your screen 10 seconds and now you're getting into his lazy ways. It's embarrassing. You've let yourself down and you've let me down. You've let Smushy Cats down.
I'm sorry, Smushy Cats.
Oh, he does have a little smushy voice.
All right, so should we get on with the demon face here, and we'll do the slice thing afterwards, the slice thing, the Pulp Fiction thing after, if we can. Okay, so I'll play for you first few seconds. I'll pause it. You let me know if the sound is okay. Oh, you know what would be helpful if I turn the speakers on.
That would be useful. I mean, I don't know if you're aware of how sound waves happen, but it's important that you.
Yeah. Except now
actually
you're coming out
creative.
of my speakers too. Okay, so just all right. So you're gonna get the echo now. All right, here we go.
I'm pretty good. I'm tired though. You know, I'm
A little bit, a
tired.
smidge higher if we can.
The trenches of the culture war for like 5 years now.
Oh God, the trenches of the culture war. We've got to go back to the start. We've got to go back to the start there.
Okay.
Hey folks, how's it going? I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I'm tired though. You know, I'm tired. I've been in the trenches of the culture war for like 5 years now. And I don't feel like I've ever had a break. I feel like even when even if I go on holiday or something, I'm still on my phone. I'm still following the news cycle.
He's on the phone. No, even when he's on holiday, he has
Isn't
to
it
use
ridiculous though? Like when he goes on, I dropped my headphones accidentally, so I'm just going to talk until I've got you plugged back in. All right. He goes on holiday. He can turn off his phone. Just turn off your phone, mate. You're on holiday. Be with your
what's the
family.
fucking big deal? Well, first off, he can't really turn off his phone because he's got kids and stuff. So I mean,
But
like,
on Twitter, he doesn't have to be on Twitter
no,
or
he doesn't
Facebook.
have to be on Twitter. He could delete the app for a few days. Absolutely.
Yeah. He
But
can't be on Twitter
also,
anyway.
what's the big hassle with using a phone? Again, you lazy fucking prick. Look, it's using a phone. Look at him talking like, I've been in the trenches of the culture war. I've had to use a phone.
I've had to read things on Twitter about news.
I've had to follow the news cycle, which is like basic shit that a normal person does by reading a newspaper or watching the television. Like you're not. Look, if he was saying I've had to look up, really obscure case law in order to try and protect someone from being wrongfully accused of murder, like that's hard work. Okay, fine. You're literally watching Donald Trump give a speech at the UN. It's like, I mean, it could be tiresome, but not literally tiring.
No.
Like it's just watching the news like a fucking grown adult would do.
And he could do it at any time of the day he wants or night. This isn't like a clock in and you have to read news for 8
And
hours
no
a
one's
day.
making him go to Milwaukee. He could have stayed in Britain and gone to the actual fucking UKIP conference. Look, I'll give Dankula his due. He actually went there and fucking, gave a speech. It was mostly bollocks, but he gave a speech. Like, he actually went there. Carl's like, nah, I'm going on holiday. Oh, woe is me.
All right, should we get back to it then?
Yes, please. I can't fucking wait.
Owning the progs online, things like this. And
I don't think it's owning the progs online. I'll be honest. I don't think that's the actual word. I think Google Translate might be a bit shit.
No, I think he was saying progressives, I guess.
Yeah, progs, not progs.
Yes, it's an imperfect.
I'm not sure there are two cities called Prague of the size of Prague, so maybe there are. I don't know.
Also the possessive of progs online. But anyway, yeah, it's an approximation. It's not a perfect transcription. So.
Oh, look at that face. Don't you want to slap him?
Then I'd have to touch him.
Smug bastard. You
Puts me
can wear
off.
Kevlar gloves.
It's non-violence through revulsion, really.
Okay, squirt him with a water pistol.
Oh, then I'll say it's bleach and I'm doing the man-spreading hoax on him.
Oh, God, they all went for that, didn't they?
Oh, they all went for the hoax. Yes.
Oh, God, she's putting bleach on them. Not really. Because if that was bleach on your balls, you wouldn't react in the way they did. You'd be in agony.
And the camera just happened to be perfectly centered every single time.
Yeah, and none of the people were like looking at the cameraman at all.
Didn't look set up. No.
No, it didn't look suspicious in the slightest.
But
Let's just publish this.
Are you questioning Paul Joseph Watson's journalistic credentials here? His background checks?
Maybe someone just randomly sent it to him on Twitter DM and he didn't check at all. Because that's literally happened before.
Yeah, it's probably what happened.
Journalisms.
All right, back to the Carl monster face thing.
Honey monster, yes.
Your honey monster. All right.
I want to take a break. I think I've done a lot of work recently.
Yeah, you've worked really hard, Carl.
Got to a point where I think I can produce more useful content if I essentially unplug from the internet.
I can produce more useful content by sitting on a toilet.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if that's where he does some of his work.
It smells the same.
It's where he picks up the aroma.
Although, I'll be honest, most of my turds have a lot more substance and fiber to them.
Yeah, compared to, that, actually, his content is less fragrant and less nice.
Although I would be happy to flush his channel down the toilet. So, I mean, there's that.
All right, so back to the whining about how hard this is, how much he needs to take a break
Exactly.
from a job that is just turning off his phone for an afternoon.
This is like one of those letters sent by someone at the front during the First World War. Just the conditions are terrible here in my air-conditioned suite in Milwaukee.
Yes.
Pray for me, Edith.
It's only free food in an open bar. I don't know how I'll survive without free champagne.
Exactly. It's only half board. This is absolute hell.
All right, we have to get through this. We're only 38 seconds in.
Yeah, but we've got 5 whole minutes before the hour. Mission creep.
Well, then you need to interrupt less or not complain.
How can I not interrupt Les? He says dumb shit every sentence. Like, I can't not interrupt that.
We have to give you designated pauses, so you need to hold your interruptions for like 10 seconds. Can you do that? Let's do an experiment. It's at 39 seconds now. I'll try to find a natural break before 45 seconds.
This is unfair because you've got a smackhead and you're laying heroin with the needle and the spoon right there in front of him. You can't touch it for 10 seconds.
This is right. I'm pressing play.
Just start ignoring what other people are doing and focusing on what I want to do. I'm going to take a break. And I don't know how long a break I'm going to take from
Forever?
you.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Well, I actually think it might be a forever break because he's going to lose his subs who are used to his feminist stuff. That stuff is so passé. He's not doing politics again. So when would he come back to it? Why would he come back to it?
Well, you say he's not doing politics stuff. He's already put out a video saying, "Oh, Kavanagh's wonderful." So he's still doing politics. It's just, I don't know. I think he just felt run down because, you know, the trenches of the culture war. He probably got some sort of trench foot of the culture war, and
so he deserted.
Got the SJW mustard gas got into his lungs. He's got shell shock. Bless him.
Yeah, Karagan, deserter of the culture wars.
Exactly. Yeah, he's had to execute various deserters from the culture war, which takes its psychological toll. We know this.
All right, let me go on with this very interesting experiment of having my headphones and my external speakers play at the same volume, which is quite disorienting, but I think I'm getting the hang of it.
News side of it, that sort of thing. And I'm going to produce the content I want to produce. And yeah, that does mean the Starship Troopers video. One of the things that holds
the
that
only
up,
book he's read.
Yeah.
Literally the only book. And it's shit.
I just really can't see the people who come every week who show up at his channel every week for This Week in Stupid are going to really be waiting with bated breath for his Starship Troopers video. It's such different content.
Yeah, it's intense.
It's a book.
Oh God, words on a page. They're terrible.
Are there at least pictures at the start of the chapters?
You can get the audio book, but it's longer than 4 hours. So I mean, that could be a problem.
That could be,
because that would take them up to bedtime.
At least, yeah.
And their mom's not going to be happy with them listening to
past.
Yeah, exactly. It's a school night.
Yeah, you can't stay up till 11:30 listening to your shitty audiobook. Just breaking it halfway. Save it part 2 for tomorrow.
Is that it's either that or going on a gun spree killing innocent women. So I mean, in many ways, he may be doing us a service.
Stay up late, definitely.
Yeah.
Read through. Okay.
Constant need to keep up the news cycle. So I'm really looking forward to getting off that treadmill.
Sorry, I know we're going to take forever doing this, but keeping up with the news cycle as if that's something to be praised. You're a grown adult, Carl. It's not that difficult, mate. Look, you don't have to keep up completely with every story, but keeping up generally with the news cycle is just what human beings do.
And I mean, news websites make it really easy to keep up with the news because they put really bold headlines that try to summarize things. So it's
you don't even have to have the volume on the telly. You can just watch the ticker go around at the bottom of the screen and get the broad idea of what's happening in the world. It's not ideal. I'm not saying that that's like a good way of doing it, but if you want to be a lazy fuck, you can. And it's not that big of a deal. Look, he's saying this is some great burden on him. This is just what adults do, Carl.
Right.
I don't want to bring his family into it, but he's a really terrible role model for children.
Oh, well, how can I count the ways? I don't know which ones you're thinking of in particular.
I mean, obviously, there's all the things we've talked about before, white N-words, I wouldn't even rape you and all of that. But just in terms of, like, feeling so oppressed by having to follow the news cycle. It's not, Carl. You're not fucking diffusing bombs or doing fucking brain surgery. It's not that stressful, mate. You sit in a chair and talk shit for a living. And look, on a basic level, I don't even feel bad. Like, fair play. You've found a niche in the world, but don't act like this is hard work.
But now it's boring to him.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it. He's tired of it, and he doesn't want it, and it's hard now because he doesn't like it.
You could always
He's
go
not
and get
having fun.
You could actually go and get a proper job and try and be a productive member of society.
That's what I
and
was
see
going
how
to compare it to.
fantastic that is.
Yeah.
You mug.
Yeah. Try opening a business where you have to be open and there and pleasant to everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the customer is right in that occasion, Carl.
Mm-hmm.
Who would guess it'd be an insurance job within a fortnight? That place would burn to the ground.
But
you can't go around screaming N-word at customers and things, Carl.
No.
That has consequences.
Yeah, but even the minimum of making, like, well, as we'll see, one video a week is too much. It's just...
I can see him getting up one day and just going, "Oh, I had to wipe my ass this morning when I took a shit." Oh,
why can't we make a machine for that?
Yeah, I need to take a break. I had to put some socks on.
All right, can we try to get through this?
Look, look at that picture. That is a man who enjoys the smell of his own farts too much. Look at him. Twat.
Yes, I think fart huffer is definitely a term that's being associated with him currently and widely.
Yes, it's bizarre when a man Dutch ovens himself. I mean, I'm not kink shaming. I'm just saying it's weird.
Yeah, it's a rare, yes.
That's some niche. That's niche. Anyway, we're a fucking minute in. Jesus, come on. Stop interrupting Kristi. Fuck's sake.
You go.
It's tiresome. And it turns you into nothing but a culture warrior. And honestly, that's what I've worried that I've been becoming recently. Just a hardcore culture warrior. And honestly, with my debate with Carrier, I really felt afterwards like, Christ, I didn't give him a fair hearing. You know, and I was making an ass out of myself. So I'm not happy with what it was turning me into.
No, he's always been that.
Yeah, he's acting as if this is some sort of new aspect to his personality.
Yeah.
No, Carl, that's what you are, mate. You're just seeing yourself for the first time.
I mean, he's an ass to most people, if I think about it.
Yeah.
Like, there's a sort of a clutch of people that he likes around him. But in terms of, like, his public interactions, I don't know. If he's not coddling people, then he's being a dick to them. So...
Yeah, and also, as previously mentioned, of course, he's just sort of apologised there again about how he didn't give him a fair hearing and blah, blah, blah. Like, you know he's done fucked up big time.
Yeah, I think when, I think it was Michael during that really long happy hour we did on MythCon who people said to him, came up to him and said
did
that
we
people
do a really
like...
long happy hour? I can't remember.
He might have fallen asleep.
It flew by those 4 fucking hours or whatever it was.
But yeah, even people were saying, I'm a fan of Sargon, and I don't know what the heck that was. Yeah, but the thing is, that he's not turned into me. It's just exposed him what he really is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I like the fact that our last happy hour, virtually neither of the people in the title, like Kevin and Kristi, are actually talked.
But can I also just shout myself out for managing to actually have everybody talk in pretty much equal chunks?
Well, you say that, but I had a funny little interaction with Vadim Newquist. I put the thumbnail I used was that image of him looking really fierce,
right?
Various times, a kind of in rows, as little images. And I said to Vadim that I didn't want to say he talked too much, but then I showed the picture of. I took a screenshot of when you upload a video to YouTube, it shows you 3 randomly selected still images from your video as potential automatic thumbnails, and all 3 of them were Vadim. Which, I mean, it's random, so it could have been anyone, but I just suggested that he'd been talking a lot. But I don't know, because I'll be honest, I fucking zoned out for about half of that episode. Because I wasn't talking, it wasn't about anything I could really mention, so I just started playing a golf game on my tablet. So
yeah, and I think at that point, I've been on Hangouts where I basically just turned into an audience member. I did that on one of Michael's, and it's fine. It's like an audience member with privileges to interrupt if you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, he basically went in there trying to be very Sargon, and it blew up in his face, and maybe it did turn him around on himself, or maybe this is just his attempt of getting pity.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pity party for Carl. There's no actual contrition there.
I
Because
mean,
that's the thing, an apology without any acceptance of what you did wrong, really, and aiming to try and correct that problem, it's not an apology. It's hollow words.
and also he's not stopping because of something he did to another person. He didn't stop because of just what he did to Jess or Lush in Cardiff or anybody else who said that the things that he did, like with the helicopter meme, hurt them. And he didn't stop for any of that. He stopped because he got bored and tired and he wasn't having fun anymore and he wasn't winning.
Well, no, yeah, exactly. He stopped because he got some significant blowback. It's like the criminal. If you stop because you got caught,
Right.
that's not an apology. It's not contrition. It's not change.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not sincere. So you can fuck off.
Okay, let's try going again because I have to turn on my speakers every time.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
that's okay. That's why
Well,
you
no,
get the
it's
echo sometimes because
okay.
you're coming
Stop
through my
being polite.
speakers.
Tell me to shut up.
All right, shut up, Kevin.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna change that. I will still share things to my social media presence online, obviously,
Oh, brilliant.
but it won't necessarily be about hot topics and hot takes about news items. There'll be things again that I think are.
Well, you say that, but the very next thing you put out about it was, that guy who probably raped that woman. Well, not woman, girl, when she was 15. Yeah, she's brilliant, and the left are terrible for pointing out that a rapist and a liar shouldn't be on the Supreme Court.
Yeah, it's our fault. We're bad for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we made him perjure.
Yes.
Yeah.
We made him say, I like beer. I still like beer.
Yeah. For a guy who wanted to come across as sober, shouting "I love beer," not necessarily the way to do it. And also lying about, like, I got into Yale. Not that that's a fucking ethical, like, defense of yourself, but I got into Yale on my own back. No, who's a legacy student?
Mm-hmm.
So he lied under oath. Okay.
Well, one among many times. But
Yeah, exactly. That's the least of his things, but that alone should be disqualifying.
I think it was.
But Carl wants him in there because Carl. I mean, this is the thing with Carl. He's always done this. I'm on the left because I support, like, gay rights and abortion and stuff. But then you look at the candidates he supports for various offices, including the Supreme Court now. They tell a rather different story.
Yeah, don't look at what Carl says. Look at what he supports and what he does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting, rather than things that I think are going to help drive the conversation a certain way. I'm sure there are plenty of other people who can do that, and they're going to have more time and more energy for that kind of work than I do at the moment. I need to recharge, and I need to do the things that I want to do. Frankly, I want to stop chasing numbers because part of the game.
So again, this is just such, pardon me, I actually have to try to retain an audience and work hard at producing content that people will watch.
No, I have to try and actually entertain on this entertainment platform. Oh, can't you just give me money for doing nothing?
Yeah. I don't. Who is making him chase numbers? I don't know that anyone's making him do anything.
Yeah, exactly. No one made him go to Milwaukee. No one made him not do any research and look a fool. That's his business.
Yeah. So
no
again,
one made him send the tweets that got him into the fucking papers.
So far, let's just recap. He's not like what he's become after he got it blown out and BTFO'd on stage.
Yeah.
He's tired because he has to keep up with the news. He's tired because when he goes on holiday, he can't turn off mentally.
He has to use a telephone.
And now he has to actually attract an audience.
Yeah. Oh, no, I have to make a product that people want in the marketplace that I supposedly support.
Yes.
Okay.
I have to make stuff other people like, and I don't necessarily find enjoyable all the time.
Yeah, whereas those people working in sweatshops, Carl, that you seem to be okay with, I'm sure they love stitching clothes for tuppence a day.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna.
They probably love that. I'm sure they're sick of chasing numbers too. They might like a break, mightn't they?
Yes, wouldn't that be if they could get like 20,000 a month for taking a break?
Fuck all.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna hit play again.
Please do.
theme is that you're always chasing high viewing figures, and I mean that's all well and good, but it is tiring, and I am genuinely just one guy, and I really think I can better focus my efforts elsewhere. But that does.
What does he mean by he's just one guy? I mean, he's talking about how many videos a week. I mean, look at Steve Shives. That guy's got a work ethic like he's like the Stephen King in terms of production of YouTube. And you know why? Because he's creative, he's got ideas, and he's got his shit together.
Yeah, he's got like an actual schedule and he
Yeah.
sticks to it.
It's
He's
a job for
putting
him.
the effort in. Carl.
Yeah. You should learn a thing or two from Steve Shives there, Carl, about work
Here's
ethic.
an old American phrase for you. He's got some moxie about him.
Yeah, that Shives kid. I like the cut of his jib.
I've always liked the cut of his jib. His jib is delightful, whatever it is.
Yes, delightful jib. All right, so
it's his jib.
Let's go back to the whining. Do you have your cheese and crackers ready? I've got tortilla chips. It's not quite the same.
I know. I'm just doing the wanking motion.
There we go.
I mean,
there's a mental image for the audience.
Yeah, the fact that my erect penis is also in that hand is just a coincidence.
All right, I think I can fix this by putting Carl's voice back on.
Oh, please don't.
I won't be doing things. I'll still be assisting UKIP as and when I can.
I'm assisting UKIP.
Whoever else.
Go back a second.
Okay.
I'm assisting. Hang on.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll still be assisting UKIP as and when I can.
UKIP.
Oh, you're looking at this. Oh, the text. I thought you were listening.
I'm assisting you because KIP. I don't know if you're aware of this, Kristi. I don't know if you're in Britain long enough. Do you know what KIP is in British slang?
No, kippers I know of, but not kip.
No, KIP is
to sleep. To sleep, yeah. Have a kip.
Assisting you to sleep. Yes, you will, Carl. Yes.
Sorry.
I know that's not really his fault because that's not technically what he said, but it's still funny.
It works.
Funny. Not just that, but he's going to be assisting me to kip as a man, which I like. I prefer sleeping as a man.
Also, I just like, as and when I can. If there's a candidate that's running in my area and they want me to leaflet the house on either side of me.
Yeah, exactly. But he won't actually walk up his drive and then down across and their drive. He'll just throw it over the back fence.
Oh, then he can get maybe the neighbors behind as well, so he can do like at least 3 houses.
Undoubtedly, he will have drawn cocks on it and stuff. Because, that's productive work,
That's a real commitment to his ideological principles, exactly. As and when I can.
He'll scrunch it into a ball and throw it at them as they pass.
Can I just say, I had a choice of when I was going to fly home to see my family this year. And I deliberately decided I wanted to be home for the election. One, because I want to stay up I would have to stay up all night here to watch it. So it just makes sense for me to go back to the States if I'm going to go back to the States. But I also organized it so that I leave very close after the election. You know why? Because I'm going to go knock on doors for Democrats when I'm home on vacation.
Communists.
I care about my democracy.
You mean communists?
Yes. So that's the difference between Carl and me. He'll do it as and when, and I am organizing my holiday so I can spend it working for Democrats.
Again, moxie.
Yeah. I like the cut of my jib.
This has got a very different modern phrase, but you've got some spunk about you.
Yes, it's very different in modern parlance.
Exactly. They're very different, but you've got that's a work ethic, that's a determination. There's some steel there, whereas Carl is just this spineless, limp blob of a man. And I don't mean that in terms of his physique or anything like that, because I'm not in great shape either. I mean literally, like in terms of his moral fiber, there's nothing there. As
I said, I would compare him to Mr. Blobby, but you take offense at that.
Yeah, Mr. Blobby was awesome. He was like a fun character. He was like a nice man.
Could Carl be his evil twin?
Very possibly. He's like the antimatter Mr. Blobber.
Mr. Flubby.
This is really... We should explain for Americans.
Right.
Right, I'm going to make this... This is going to be an explanation, but it's actually going to make it less clear. Mr. Blobby was a character on a show called Noel Edmonds' House Party back in the 90s, which was set in a place called Crinkly Bottom, which I've actually been to. It's a fantastic place in Yorkshire. It's like this old house, this old like fucking Tudor mansion place. Or that's where it was supposedly set. It was like filmed in London, I think. And Mr. Blobby was this mad, sort of anarchic, fucking pink and with blue spots monster who didn't really speak, but would just sort of randomly physically assault the host, but in a kind of fun way. It sounds really weird.
And he did say something. Didn't he just say blubby blubby blubby?
And ridiculously, he had a Christmas #1.
Yes, he
Yeah,
was.
that's yeah. I mean, it's again that was an explanation which technically told you more information about the character, and yet you're probably less clear on what the fuck I'm talking about.
Well, I could see then Carl as an evil Mr. Blobby wearing like
And
black and
interestingly,
white.
The guy who played Mr. Blow, this is really fucking odd. This is odd now, minutiae. But the guy who played Mr. Blow, you know, Noel Edmonds now does the what show does he do? The
I don't live there anymore.
Deal or No Deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which I think has been franchised in every country in the world now. But he did like the original, the British version. And the guy who played Mr. Blobby was a contestant on the show.
Get out! Isn't that a conflict of interest?
Well, no, because he doesn't control the boxes. He's just like the presenter of the show.
All right.
There's like an outside company that do the boxes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Anyways, on with this fucking twat.
Okay.
All I'll say is we've been doing this 20 minutes and we've got through how long?
2 minutes and 26 seconds.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
10 to 1.
Yeah, you 10 to 1. Thanks, Kev. You are the reason we're doing the after bar, by the way.
Obviously, I'm the alcoholic.
MPs and whoever else that is useful to interview on my live channel.
MEPs, yeah.
Yeah, because you know those pull in the views. That's huge ratings. There's huge ratings when he did his UKIP ad.
Yeah.
With Mr.
Yeah,
Angry Guy.
absolutely.
Get angry!
Yeah.
Get angry! Get angry! Motto. That and service guarantee citizenship. Get angry!
Which is so strange, because is that the UKIP policy? Because I assure you, there's no one in Britain who would support that. Not even Conservatives would support that shit.
That seems to be a liberalist position.
Yeah, and that's why it's going nowhere.
Exactly. Okay.
I will be doing things on the Thinkery, obviously, and I will be uploading content to my main channel. It'll just be far less frequent, and it will be far more, I want to say polished, but let's say crafted.
Like a turd.
You can polish a turd and you can craft a turd, but it's still going to be a turd.
Exactly. Oh, look at every time you pause it, it's just a face you want to throw flour and water at.
Oh, I forgot to say, what I saw when I saw that, because he's got a similar, well, no, he looks more grim on the Times picture that was posted online. But what I saw when I saw that headline, campaign lit. Just, if Carl ever decides to run for UKIP, you just take that headline and you put that on the top of a folding piece of lit, and on the bottom you explain what the headline means.
Yes. And, he's sunk.
And I just went, yum, yum, yum. Oh, that, as I was a political operative, I would just be giggling in delight. Like, are you serious? This can't be this easy.
Hole below the waterline that it doesn't really matter, but he's such a soiled goods politically. There's no
completely
saleable in any kind of election.
Well, that was part of the reason why I really wanted to push the I Wouldn't Rape You tweet before MythCon and really bring a lot of people's attention to it, and also the other horrible things he said.
Yeah.
But that was obviously a huge focus point.
I think you should be thanked really by everyone for that, because, and when I was a much smaller part of it, of course, because it's important that, like with the Kavanagh thing, the idea that, he did a thing when he was 17. Yeah, if you do horrible shit, that stays with you. So maybe don't do horrible shit.
Yeah, precisely. The internet doesn't forget.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and neither should it.
Mm-hmm.
But now, doing horrible shit doesn't necessarily mean you can't change and develop beyond it and stuff. And if Carl ever does, then maybe you think, okay, well, if he makes amends for it and things, but he's shown absolutely no interest in ever doing that. So with no contrition, there is no forgiveness.
Mm-hmm. You can't pre-forgive someone when they're not even sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, all right.
Anyway, stop fucking interrupting.
Yeah, I know. I'll get going with it.
You chatty mare.
My video editing skills have never been good. So what does this mean? This means that I will no longer be producing This Week in Stew.
What?
No, he just said, what does it mean? And I said, fuck all.
Yeah, really. In terms of, sorry, frog in my throat. In terms of life, nothing will change in life because he's not going to make This Week in Stupid.
Also, that still image is quite funny.
That one's better than we've got very flattering stills really leading up to the. Oh my gosh, did you see the tweet? Sorry to completely take it on a tangent because we'll leave this up here for a while. Did you see the tweet that Vadim Newquist put out about Sam Harris's Big Think thumbnail?
Yes, yeah.
It was basically this face.
Yeah, he looks. He looks either like he's just about to wake up or he's just about to come, frankly. It's a very weird still image they've used for that thumbnail. I don't know why they've gone with that.
I assume it's the default, like they didn't upload the thumbnail art.
Was that the best of the three? Like, just click on the other one.
I think it was probably the default. I'm giving them as much room. Yeah, I'm giving them as.
They spend so much like on good quality lighting and all
camera.
That. Just fucking 10 seconds. Just get Google his name and put an image up.
Oh, I want to morph it from Sam Harris's face into Carl's face and back again. That would be that's nightmare fuel for you right there.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, so I think we've mocked this image enough. We've been petty long enough. We can be less petty now.
Good. And I will no longer be producing regular videos specifically commenting on pertinent and topical news items. I know that's probably a disappointment for some people, but
not here.
No. I'm just saying.
Not here, Carl. No.
Oh no! So now just one less pile of bullshit to have to for people to have to debunk.
Oh God, where are the people who want to listen to rape apologetics bullshit? Oh yeah, the million other channels just like Carl's. Oh God.
Right.
Yeah.
And people are doing it in more real time. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because they're scum, but they're at least hardworking scum. So they can get their videos out in less than a week.
Right, once a week. You know, so much work. And then, what is it, like an hour-long video? I would imagine.
What is?
This Week in Stupid.
Oh, it's usually less than that. It's about half an hour to 40 minutes. Yeah, and it's not even. He doesn't film. It's still images with. I mean, to be fair, like he has good transitions with like the news stories sliding from the side, but they're not.
That's a software.
Difficult. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not very difficult to put those together. I mean, if I can fucking do it,
I can do that on my phone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. But Carl, we know from earlier, Carl finds it very, very tiring using his phone. So you're just taunting him with your fucking fancy. I don't have like some sort of ridiculous fucking childish aversion to work. Jesus.
Even the phone is too much. He wants to just lay there completely inert.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to be paid to lie down eating Cheetos.
Pretty much.
Masturbating over 13-year-olds with small tits. No, big tits. He wants big tits. Sorry. Apologies, Carl.
Yeah, for the quartering more than for him.
Cartoons of 13-year-olds with massive breasts. Because that's realistic.
Yeah, and like I said, it's not just for him, it's for the quartering. He's trying to be considerate.
Well, I do hope they had a mutual kind of downhill skiing competition, so to speak, over 13-year-old cartoons with big tits. I
don't want to go back to Spider-Man, and you have to explain that to me off air. So, all right, we're going to continue on with the audio now.
Yes.
Like I said, I really need to unplug for a while. I need to get off the treadmill. I need to relax. Because I think...
you've been working too hard, Carl. If anything, you've been putting too much effort in.
I can't imagine Carl owns a treadmill because of the effort it would require.
Yeah, you'd have to like go out and look at treadmills and stuff. It's a nightmare.
I was actually thinking of walking on a treadmill, but you've taken it up a notch to even shopping for a treadmill.
You have to like Google treadmills. Oh.
You have to use the computer, maybe his phone.
Oh, not his phone.
Kristi,
no. Stop mentioning the phone. You're going to trigger him.
Okay, let me go back.
There's a depth of feeling among some communities, shall we say, that they think that I'm doing this for me. And yes. I really want to be able to...
It's called reality, Carl. That depth of feeling within communities could have just been summed up with the word reality.
Okay, maybe we cut it off too soon, but it seems to me what he's saying is that he is taking a break from politics to show people who doubt he's really into politics that he's into politics by doing things as and when he can. We might have to go
Yeah,
back.
exactly. He's half-arsing it to show people that he's not half-arsing it.
All right, let's just see what
I
the
mean,
full.
that's a bold strategy, Carl. Oh, don't go back. Fucking hell, we're going to take forever.
I want to. You're taking forever
I mean,
anyway.
eventually one of us
That's
is
what
going
she
to
said.
fuck. No, she never said that. Quite the opposite. Can we get through one joke, one show without a fucking premature ejaculation joke? Really?
I don't
Can we?
know. Can we?
Oh God! What a fucking jerk off! Really?
Did he know where that sentence was going to end when he started?
Carl's sentences are like a fucking a high wire act. He doesn't know where he's going, and you know it's going to go off eventually, but just where?
Oh my God, I'm dying.
I don't do anything for this. I don't do any of this for me, so I'm going to do it for me to show you all that you're wrong.
You know, I can imagine this is how he talks to his wife. Like, your pleasure is the most important thing to me, and I'm going to show you how important it is to me. It's, you know, I'm going to pleasure myself first.
Yeah, by eating all of this food and masturbating and forcing you to never have sex again. Because I love you.
I want to show that you're. I want to show that I'm doing this. I can't even with this.
I'm going to show you that I've given up the drugs by taking lots of heroin.
I'm done. I think we should just end it there because I don't know if I can go on. If this peak ridiculousness reached, unless he says something.
Well, okay, well, yeah, if you want to, that's fine.
No,
if you don't have the stamina,
okay, maybe I just need just breathe a little bit. That killed me. Oh, all right.
That was that was and not just that, but look at the serious face. Like he just made a really good point.
I'm gonna make content.
He's thinking to himself that quote was fucking Churchillian.
They're all on board. I'm doing the best video ever right now. Everybody's convinced.
My farts are fucking fragrant. Oh yeah.
Maybe, you know, if he would have written things down before he started talking.
Again, Kristi.
Yeah, right. You're right. It's Sargon's law. Does it require effort? It's Sargon's workflow or work chart, flow chart.
He's got the Homer Simpson-esque mantra, hasn't he? That was it, if something's hard to do, it's not worth doing.
Right.
And for him, using a phone is hard to do. But being a basic grown-up is hard to do.
Yes, just reading news and processing information on a regular basis. Oh.
I've got to produce one video a week.
Okay, so let's see. We're almost to the halfway mark.
We make fun, right? But it's fucking pathetic.
It is. That's why we make fun.
Christ.
And, you know, I'm enjoying this because this is, you know, sort of since he decided to notice me out of the crowd as someone to point everyone else to harass.
El Generalissimo, yes.
Yeah. This last week was what I've been waiting for. You know, like him being, I mean, publicly humiliated on stage because of his lack of research, being called out for his racism in the UK press. It was perfect. Are you kidding? This is like one of the, you know, it definitely is, you know, over now, but.
Kristi, if you're that jealous of him, just buy a suit. Just get yourself a suit. Carl did it, and it looked brilliant on him.
I have to say, I didn't really notice. There was one shot where he sort of stood more to the side than straight on. You really see how badly fit the sleeves are.
Yeah. I told you, it was sort of like the kids on the first day back to school. They buy the clothes too big because they know they're going to grow into it.
Right.
And yeah, but Carl, you're not going to grow into it, mate.
Maybe those are the only kind of jackets he's had. You know, because as a grown up, he hasn't worn any, so he still fits them like he's 8 years old and has to grow into it for the next year.
Yeah, like the guitarist from AC/DC.
Yeah.
Creepy old man in shorts.
All right, let's see if we can make it to the 5-minute mark.
The Sargon.
Yes, the famous Sargon. Can we make it
the full Sargon?
No. All right.
I want to make things that I think are interesting, and I want to say the things that I think are valuable.
So hang on, is he saying there that he's so far been creating things that he thinks are shit and not valuable?
That's a possible interpretation. That so far he's just been putting out shit, but now he's going to get down to things that he values.
Like Starship Troopers.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what we've all been
fresh
waiting for.
material from the 1950s.
One of the things I've always wondered about Carl since, he first started targeting me for harassment is what does he think about Starship Troopers?
He loves it. He's already said he thinks it's
No, that was a joke.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Exactly. I've always, yeah. Okay. Well, it's too difficult. It's too late for me to get in on the joke now because I took it seriously. So you've made me look a mug.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you do that to me all the time. So it's okay. Turnabout's player. I'm playing you at your own game.
Oh no, I've been double blocked. No, I don't know. Fucking hell, I'm losing the will to fucking live here. Okay.
Let's go on.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I'll never be anywhere or anything like that. I mean, I've got like a string of engagements at universities, and
Does your wife know? Oh, sorry. Okay.
I have already committed to, and so I'm going to.
Yeah, they'll get cancelled, Carl. They'll get cancelled, mate. Come on.
Actually, after the headline, you're right. I didn't really think about. You're right. If once the groups on campus see that headline, that's going to be on a poster. That's going to be enclosures to the
and instantly the HR department are like, what's that? Sorry, rape tweets.
Yeah.
Is that Mr. Benjamin? Can we talk about the scheduled hall rental?
Mm-hmm.
We're double booked, unfortunately. Fuck off.
But at least he's basically saying I'm not going to bail on things I've already committed to. So I guess that's
exactly, yeah, knowing full well that they're going to get cancelled. So he doesn't look like the baddie here. He was definitely going to go to the University of Carlisle or wherever, and but the evil SJWs said that actually they don't want racist garbage on campus.
Right.
How evil of them.
And I think probably for his events, he's probably got a deposit down. So if he cancels now, he'll just lose his deposit. So why not do it?
Exactly. Yeah. He's got a lot of money riding on being cancelled, and of course the victim bucks that come in with it as well.
Precisely. Okay, so back to it.
Obviously, because I'm a man of my word. But after that, I probably won't.
Well, apart from that time that you said you were going to produce a game and took thousands of pounds in what essentially ended up being an interest-free loan from your backers, and then you didn't produce the game, whilst at the same time criticising Anita Sarkeesian for not finishing her project, which she actually did finish in the end, and you never did. But apart from that, you're definitely a man of your word, Carl, yes.
Yeah, we can go through other instances, like where he's backed out on talking, like debating people. Like he was going to set the question for our second debate on patriarchy. He was going to be able to set the wording of the question, and I would have to debate one side or the other, and he ghosted.
Well, yeah, because unfortunately it was too near to the time and it hadn't dilated yet, so he needed to tighten up his posterior after you'd.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean he couldn't walk, Kristi. You were rough.
Yeah, he did also put out a sort of regretful video after our debate as well.
He did, yes. But again, did you notice he was sat on some pillows?
No, I was looking at the Twitter icon he added the background for whatever reason.
I'm suggesting you pegged him, senseless.
Oh, right, okay,
That's
sorry.
the joke.
Got
so
it.
When I said it hasn't dilated yet.
A friend of mine just had a baby, so I went to a very different place.
I don't think he's having a baby.
No.
He's just a fat bastard. Apologies. I'm allowed to say that. As a member of the Fat Bastard Union, I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah, you've got your card. I've seen it. You showed it to the picture once. All
right,
let me see if we can get to the 5-minute mark. We're only at 4:04.
Because another one of the problems of being so active is all the traveling. I mean, I've just been away for a week, and I'm not.
Oh no, Carl! You've been away for a whole week. You could have stayed with your family.
Yep.
Your wife, who definitely still loves you, honest. Yeah. No one made you go to Milwaukee.
And I mean, people travel for work all the time and are away from their families because they have to do that to put food on the table and keep the rent paid.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and they're earning a sliver of what you earn.
He did it once. He did a 1-week trip once.
Yeah.
I've been to conferences that are week-long in Australia I had to fly to once. But yeah, I mean,
and you survived all the spiders and shit.
I did.
And the marauding gangs of kangaroos.
And at the time it was insanely expensive. But yeah, so it's just, him whining again.
Hang on,
about basically
tile?
free
What?
trips.
The tile was expensive. What?
No, the place was crazy expensive when I
Oh,
was in
okay.
Sydney.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at the time. At the time, sorry,
Oh,
at the time,
okay.
it was insanely expensive. Yeah.
Well, Sydney's not real Australia anyway. It's pretend Australia.
Who made that? Who made you the boss of what's real Australia, mate?
The British fucking Empire.
I'm gonna need to see the Queen's seal on that document, sir.
I know. She's sublet the thing out to me. It's fine.
Oh, right. So you bought it. You're like sort of cronyism. You're sort of paying off royalty.
Real Australia is New Zealand.
Oh, okay. All right.
That won't stir up any passions. They love each other.
Okay. Should we try to? We've got to 412 now.
Let's go. Let's just go 8 more seconds and leave it there.
All right. There we go. This is gonna be. It's gonna be famous clips in Sargon's quote box history. There we go.
With how it went, and it's not there was anything wrong with the MythCon guys or anything like that. It was all me, nothing to do with anyone else.
There you go. It was all his fault.
Blaze it.
All right. So now I can stop sharing this.
Yeah, please do. We're done. Well, that was interesting.
It was a thing. No,
it was definitely a thing.
It's the feels like a little bit of a closing of the era. You know how we talked about when the feminist became the new target, about how beating up on Christians had become no more lucrative, and it feels very much like we've passed the beating up on feminists for money as a primary source of income for a lot of people.
Oh, I've got the. I forgot. I searched for it the moment we said. So should we play the Kavanagh?
Oh yeah.
If I can work out how to do this, hang on. I've got to get my microphone to the thing.
Your speaker, yep.
Yeah. Hang on. Oh shit! Apologies, whoever just heard that bouncing off the fucking table.
Hello to the 127 people watching. 28.
Yeah. I'm just not going to acknowledge it. I'm not going to say fuck you. I'm not going to say hello. Which in many ways is more disrespectful, really.
He's just flat out. He's just giving you the hand. He's ignoring you now. All right. So have you found it?
I found it, but for some reason the screen share button. Oh, there we go. Right.
Oh, let me put it. Lock it on you.
Please do.
Locking on.
Oh, why the fuck has it started playing randomly? You fucking.
Yeah. Doesn't Twitter suck? I know. I run the multimedia most of the time, so I know. I'm going to turn your sound up a lot.
Please do. Right, hang on. Fuck's sake. Oh, Twitter is garbage. Right. Hide that and play.
Now let me take a wild guess here. You're Brett, right?
Correct.
I thought so.
I got into Yale Law School.
Check out the big brain on Brett.
It's the #1 law school in the country.
You're a smart motherfucker. That's right.
I had no connections there. I got there by busting my tail.
Looks like me and Vincent caught you boys at breakfast.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Did you have it?
Beer. I still like beer.
You mind if I have some of your tasty beverage to wash this down?
Sometimes I had too many beers, but I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out. And I never sexually assaulted anyone.
Yes, you did, Brett.
He is warm, friendly, unassuming. He's the nicest person.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
That's my favorite part.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
There we go. Oh, yes.
So good.
Yeah. Well, when he started incoherently babbling, they should have played the clip where he says, was it, English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Oh, yeah, that also would have been perfect. Yeah. But no, that was a really good meme, I guess. Would be
yes,
right.
A funny little meme, which I thought I'd share with you. You know, from the stable of Snoop Dogg, of course. Yeah.
Yes, you stable all his memes?
I do. I'm his stable
boy. And
stable boy. I haven't been a boy for a long time.
When you dress up, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the Sailor Boy. Do your tap dance.
All right. Well, I thought we weren't going to talk about that game. That was a private matter between you, me, and the audience.
So how do you feel about where Carl is now in his career, YouTube career? You feel like you've watched a shitload.
I feel tumescent is all I'll say.
I'm sorry, what?
I was suggesting I have an erection over the issue.
Oh, I didn't know that word. What was it again?
Tumescent.
Oh,
It means engorged.
Right. Well, every day's a school day.
Well, indeed. Well, that's not literally true, but yes.
No, it is for me usually.
No, it isn't. You have weekends off. God
Every
damn it.
every time you learn something new, that's a school day for you.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. A
I
school
think
is a specific place for learning. Life is like a
life is a school as well. It is a place for learning.
Life is pain and misery.
And a place for learning, which can also be pain and misery, as you well know.
Oh, fuck yeah.
If you've ever tried to learn things like really, really well, it's painful.
It is painful. That's why Carl doesn't try.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's wrapped that conversation up in a neat little bow.
I guess I too. I feel like it's a bit of an end of the era. Now maybe he'll just, go back to his usual stuff when he realizes there's no money in what he's doing now, but I think his star is faded.
I don't know. I think he'll still carry on doing his thing because, like I said, I don't know that he knows how to do much else, to be honest. I don't think he has like transferable skills.
But if he's not pulling the views, how long is he going to do something that he doesn't enjoy?
Well, very possibly. But I mean, the thing is, the problem, one of the problems anyway that I've had with Carl is that he's not tried to parlay his success on YouTube into anything else because YouTube is the only thing he's like comfortable doing. Like he's got a comfort zone and he's just going to stick with it. Whereas people like, say, Francesca Ramsey has parlayed that YouTube success into something bigger and better and more influential and worthwhile. And that's a brilliant thing. Like if you get to that level, and very few people will be able to do that really. Like, I mean, I've got a kind of fledgling writing thing going on, which might become something some point down the line. But at least I'm sort of trying to develop beyond this thing, right? And using it as a platform all the same, and that's nice. But Carl really doesn't seem to have any interest in doing that beyond that, because as soon as he tried to take a little toe into the water, he got some backlash. He got one fucking newspaper article and has run away. I mean, that's spineless. That really is.
And if you know anything about philosophy, you don't just like read the original text and nothing else, because people have been writing about Locke for centuries. And if you don't know what other people have said about his work, then you're missing actually most of the scholarship on Locke.
Well, exactly, and that's the thing. I may not have worded it eloquently, but the same is true of like Karl Marx as well. That what they were writing isn't really relevant. The world has changed enormously around since they existed, and even more so, obviously, in the case of Locke, because it was like 300 fucking years ago. But people have built upon that and developed it. So to go back to that original text as if it's relevant to the modern day is an absurdity.
Oh yeah, I mean, my favorite book of political theory is Hobbes' Leviathan, the first section of it, and I think it makes really great arguments, and it works great for thought experiments, and it's informed my thinking on political rights. But it's not. That's not where it ends.
Yeah,
it doesn't end at the beginning of a piece of writing. Not if it's going to have impact.
Carl has done the philosophical, historical thing that he does with everything else. Is he's read the equivalent of the headline.
Yeah.
And not the actual whole history of the article. He's not done that.
Yeah, if you don't understand the mindset of Locke in the time period he was working in and what he was reacting to, you're going to basically take your modern context and read into it what's happening to you at that time. Yeah. And you can do that, but first, you should understand what the author was conveying. And once you understood what the author conveys, then you can start to engage with it, which is what like philosophy is. Actually understanding
learning stuff is difficult and not always entirely pleasant. So he's just not going to bother. Yeah. He's not going to bother. And on that entirely obvious bombshell.
Yeah, it's not a bombshell at all. Exactly. We'll bring this to
invisible bombshell.
So say hello to the 127 viewers.
No.
All right, I will. Hello. And we're going to end it now. And thank you guys for watching.
By end it, she doesn't mean we're in like a double suicide pact. That's not what she means here. That's
no. You're just going to end this show.
Yeah.
Yes, we're going to stay. We're going to do a few more of these, we think. Especially now that we might be Carl free in terms of polluting the YouTube airwaves with his nonsense.
I think you're far too optimistic.
I think there'll be less of it. There'll certainly be less systematic.
There'll be less, yeah. But he'll still do dumb shit.
All right. But
Carl doesn't know, again, Carl can do one thing and it's dumb.
It's like people who can, bend their joints back and then, but actually like the circus performers have amazing talents.
They're really good at impressions but they do every conversation as a series of impressions and you think, just talk normally.
Or they can only do one impression and they try to do it for all of the people they think they're doing impressions for.
Yeah.
That's more Carl. He tried to do an impression of a politician. He just sounded like a feminist, anti-feminist. Sorry, shitlord.
Yeah, he does a great Trump impression, but it doesn't quite work so well when he's trying to do Charlie Chaplin. Yeah.
All right. So goodbye to the chat. Thank you guys for watching. I will look at your comments afterwards.
I won't.
Hello and goodbye to the people watching from the future. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Go to Kevin's channel. Check out his content because I don't.
Yeah, exactly. Such a friend.
I think we've established empirically that I watch more of your content than in the reverse, but that's, yeah.
Well, that's because I produce more. So as an average.
That's true. Oh, actually, before we go, I did want to say, thank you for reminding me, for interrupting my outro, to say that I've talked for a while about this video I've wanted to make about the Catholic Church. And with the Kavanaugh stuff, it really took the wind out of my sails. There's only so much rape culture you can process at any one time. So I didn't want to leave it any longer, but I also just couldn't bear the thought of writing a script and recording it and editing it. It's just too much time with the content. So what I decided to do instead is I'm going to set up a live hangout. I'm going to go through, I've got PowerPoint notes and I'll sort of swap between my camera and the PowerPoint notes. I'll talk you through the information, the analysis, my conclusions, also my feelings on doing the research, and then I can take questions from the chat. So I have it tentatively titled in my head, guaranteed to be demonetized immediately. That's a good rap phrase. Someone should work into some flow. But I'm thinking about calling it How the Catholic Church Built Its Rape Culture, because that's what they did. So I don't know when it's going to go out. I'm assuming like in the next week now that I've made this decision. It's just that I've got people coming into town and other commitments that I've made, so I have to find time. So I just wanted to plug that for my channel. And of course, Kevin's channel you can find in the description box below. There's a link to that.
Don't bother going to that. It's shit.
It's good shit. Unlike Carl.
It is the good shit. Absolutely.
Yes. Right. So goodbye from me and goodbye from Kevin. So say goodbye, Kevin.
Goodbye, Kevin.
Goodbye, you guys.